Aloha. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. We're doing the workbook for students and we're on lesson 88. We're doing a review of the ideas in lesson 75 and 76. The light is come. And 76, I'm under no laws but God's. Remember yesterday we did I will there be light. Today the idea is the light has come. And it's not really necessarily that the light was somewhere else, but if anything, we came to the light because the light's always there. It's always been there. But we've come to awareness of it. So, in choosing salvation rather than attack and grievances, I merely choose to recognize what is already there. Salvation is a decision made already. Attack and grievances are not there to choose. So this is basically saying that salvation, or our true self, is a reality, and really there isn't another choice except for the choosing of illusions, and illusions are really not there. So that's why it says that attack and grievances are not there to choose. So on this level of reality, there is only one choice. But on the level that we perceive ourselves to be in, which is the level of the body and the ego identification, it does appear to us that we have a choice. So that is why I always choose between truth and illusions, between what is there and what is not there. The light has come. I can but choose the light because it has no alternative. In other words, illusions aren't really a choice because they aren't really there. Only the light is really the choice that we can really only truly make. It has replaced the darkness, and the darkness has gone. The light has come. These would prove useful forms for specific applications of this idea. This, whatever this is, cannot show me darkness, for the light has come. Well, this is one that I actually have underlined. The light in you is all that I would see. And then you mention the person's name. So we're choosing that the only thing we see, and whatever name comes to mind, is the light in them. Once we see the light in someone else, we can see it in ourselves because we are one and they are the reflection of the light for us. I would see in this only what is there. So the light comes and it dispels illusions. And we're choosing to see what is there. We will that the light would come and show us the truth. And now we're affirming that choice by saying, I would see in this only what is there. And then the second idea for today is I am under no laws but God's. Here is the perfect statement. of my freedom. I'm under no laws but God's. I am constantly tempted to make up other laws and give them power over me. Just think about it. Do you ever feel that temptation to constantly be making laws and giving them power over you? I mean, I would have to say that I didn't realize that this was what I was being tempted to do until I came in contact with A Course in Miracles. But this is where the ego is tempting me to make up some kind of rule that I have to follow. You know, whether it be a religious rule or rules having to do with relationships, rules having to do with the body, rules having to do with health, all these different things that I feel like that I have to follow in order to get salvation from something outside of myself. So I'm always tempted to make up these rules and to follow them instead of to see within me that salvation is already there and that the only rules that I have to follow is the rules of God. That I'm really, all these rules that I've made up for myself, or someone else made them up and I just, it sounds like a pretty good idea. That makes sense. I'll do that. And bound myself to. I'm not under any of those outside rules anymore. And that's what we're looking at and seeing today. That I suffer only because of my belief in these rules. If I don't follow this rule or that rule, that I might be punished in some way, or I won't be saved, or I'll get sick, or I might die, or usually, or I won't have friends, or I won't be able to take care of myself or retire comfortably. Or there's tons of these rules, but they all have to do with some kind of salvation or preservation of myself when I see myself as an individual, separated being living in a body, which is an illusion to begin with. And so the rules are for keeping up this illusion of a body and saving it and keeping it going. But these rules, really, they have no real effect on me at all. What an enlightenment for us when we really begin to realize that all these rules that we've been living under, they have no effect on me at all. The Course likens them to magic. The magic is just a trick, an illusion. I am perfectly free of the effects of all the laws except God's laws. And when it says God's laws, it's not talking about the Old Testament. All the hundreds of laws are there, or the 10 Commandments. But it's talking about laws like the law of cause and effect, or the law of good, that only good can possibly happen to me as God's Son. The laws of love. These are God's laws, are laws that you can't break. They're not like, like the Old Testament law, for example, of honor the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Well, that was always interpreted in the house I grew up in, that you went to church on Sunday morning and you didn't do any work on Sunday. But, and I remember my mom, she wouldn't even wash clothes on Sunday. But it was kind of nice, we didn't really have to do any yard work or anything on Sundays. But these, and there was this kind of feeling if you did something on Sunday other than go to church, that you would kind of piss God off and he would be mad at you, and there would be some kind of hell to pay for it. Some kind of thing that God was going to do because you broke this law. But a law of God, a true law of God, like the law of gravity or the law of thermodynamics or the law of entropy in this physical world, in the spiritual world, the laws of God are like that. You can't break them. They're just there. Everybody has to follow them. So I am perfectly free of the effects of the laws that I've made up or other people have made up. And God's laws, all of his laws, are freedom. They don't bind you. They free you. They don't tell you what you can't do. They tell you what you can do. For specific forms in applying this idea, these would be useful. My perception of this, whatever this is, shows me that I believe in laws that do not exist. Or I see only the laws of God at work in this. So whatever you see, in your life or someone else's life, if the law of God is that all things work together for good, then we can say, I see only the laws of God at work in this, because the light has come and enabled me to see that even this is working out for my good. Let me allow God's laws to work in this and not my own. Let me allow the laws of God to work in this and not my own. So whatever situation right now, just apply that to it. And later, whatever comes up, anything distressing or any event that happens, good or bad, you can apply this idea to it. That let me allow God's laws to work in this and not my own. And God's laws are working all the time, working. And that's where we're headed with this Course in Miracles, is to be able to actually flow with the laws of God. These good, loving laws. God is love, working through law. And the law is good. And it's not the laws like, don't do this, don't do that, but it's the laws that bring happiness, bring joy, bring freedom, bring life, bring light to us. So I think today as we meditate on these ideas and bring them up, I think that our perception is going to be noticeably changed about some things in our life. And at least I hope so. And because the light has come, and we're choosing salvation rather than attack. And it can't help but bring on an awareness in us of more and more that we're not separate, and we're not on our own, and we don't have to do it all ourselves, because life and love is flowing through us and working through us and working in us as the Son of God. And when it's bringing us to the place of awakening to our true self and setting us free from illusions and from shadows and from bad dreams, and bringing us to a state of heaven instead of hell, of happy dreams instead of nightmares. So I bless you today. I love you. I'll see you everywhere. And I'll see you tomorrow. Mahalo. Thank you for spending time with me.